and see what it brings us. So our main concern is, besides just trying your best to keep that common sense factor in there and observing the conditions, please go to the guarded beaches.
A reminder that the trail to the Makapu'u Lighthouse tide pools is closed. Well, one of the 19-year-old suspects in a deadly shootout over the weekend in Nanakuli appeared in court today. Kaisen Kaholo has been charged with attempted murder. His bail has been set at $500,000. Now, the incident happened at around 2:30 Saturday morning in the parking lot at Zablan Beach. That's where HPD says people in 2 vehicles exchanged gunfire. A 17-year-old was hit and was taken to the hospital, but he was declared brain dead yesterday. A 19-year-old who was also hit was previously reported as a victim, but has since been identified as a suspect and has been arrested. Also in court today, a man charged for the gruesome murder of his wife in Hava. Police arrested 38-year-old Frank Bright after his wife Amy Takaki Bright was killed in their home last week. The medical examiner said the 43-year-old died from multiple chop wounds to her head and neck. DNA from a bloodied black tomahawk blade at the scene matched both the victim and the suspect. Court records also show Frank filed for divorce 5 months after they got married. Police arrested him the night before his wife was found dead in an unrelated case.
Homicide strategic enforcement detectives learned that the victim's husband, 38-year-old Frank Bright, had been arrested the night before on September 3rd at approximately 10:36 p.m. for unrelated charges. At the time of that arrest, officers observed what appeared to be blood on his jeans and on a black glove that he was wearing. These items were recovered as evidence.
Back in April, Frank's mother had filed a TRO against him, saying he threatened her and her husband and pistol whipped her. Frank remains in custody with bail set at $1 million. Oahu's North Shore, a 28-year-old man was killed when he broadsided a vehicle on his motorcycle near Mokuleia Beach Park at around 5:30 p.m. yesterday. Police believe he had been speeding. This is Oahu's 60th traffic death this year, more than double the 29 seen at this point back in 2024. And a 16-year-old and a 5-year-old are recovering today after an e-bike crash in Kalihi. EMS says neither was wearing a helmet when they were hit by a car on North King Street near Farrington High School at around 4:30 p.m. yesterday. The 16-year-old was seriously hurt, while the 5-year-old was listed as stable. Well, the alleged leader of a violent drug trafficking ring on Kauai has been sentenced to more than 29 years in prison. 43-year-old David Borges had been in federal custody since his arrest in 2023. He pleaded guilty to charges of extortion, illegally carrying firearms, and distributing a mixture of cocaine and fentanyl. His plea follows guilty pleas from 5 co-defendants in the same case. They've all been sentenced. Well, the owner of an Aina Haina home that was destroyed by fire appears to be living in the home again, and neighbors are worried about his and their own safety. The fire on Lave Lave Street happened on August 28th. The owner's house burned to the ground and spread to a nearby house. Now, at a community meeting last week, neighbors vented a litany of concerns about past confrontations with the owner, strange visitors, and his erratic behavior. One neighbor says the owner has been seen with air rifles and a machete. Now, on Sunday night, police came to the home. The owner told Hawaii News Now he was taken to Castle Hospital for an evaluation and then walked back to Aina Haina.
And what do you think about all the neighbors' concerns?
I'm not doing anything.
What started the fire to begin with?
The candle.
A candle. Is there anything that anyone can do to help you out?
No. I don't even know where to spark.
We don't understand what threat he poses, both to himself and to neighbors in the community.
Meantime, as for the neighbor's house that caught fire, Alan Cam suffered second-degree burns. He and his wife are now homeless. Council Chair Tommy Waters says his office is coordinating state, federal, and county agencies to protect the community and help residents recover. HFD says the cause of the fire is still under investigation. The White House and lawmakers on Capitol Hill are reacting to the release of a birthday message allegedly from President Trump to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Torian Small has the latest from the White House.
The head of the House committee investigating the Jeffrey Epstein case is downplaying a message allegedly from President Trump to Epstein in 2003. The estate of the convicted sex offender turned the documents over to the committee, along with an apparent message from former President Bill Clinton.
This is about the victims. This is about embarrassing President Trump or Bill Clinton. This is about the victims.
President Trump has denied writing the note and making a sexually suggestive sketch. He's pursuing a defamation lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal for having earlier reported it.
That this absolutely was not the president's authentic signature.
House Democrats are trying to force a vote on compelling the release of the Epstein files.
If Republicans don't want to engage in a cover-up of pedophilia and this pedophilia ring, they should go sign this discharge petition.
On an economic front, the Bureau of Labor Statistics issued a major revision Tuesday showing the U.S. added 911,000 fewer jobs than initially estimated over a 12-month period that ended in March.
The president has been highly critical of BLS and the data. In August, he fired the Bureau's commissioner.
We need accurate numbers. We need truthful and honest data, which is why the president took the monumental step to try and appoint and confirm new leadership at the BLS so we can have data that we can actually rely on.
In light of the sharp downward revision, the White House is once again calling on the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates when it meets later this month. Torian Small, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump directs a top aide to warn an attack is coming. I'm Jared Hill with what the administration is saying about an Israeli airstrike on the soil of a U.S. ally.
Also ahead on This Is Now, demolition begins at a Wahiawa property where a man was mauled to death by his dogs. We'll be right back. Israel says it launched a strike on key Hamas leaders in Qatar. Now, the White House issued a statement calling it an unfortunate incident and saying President Trump objects to the location of the attack on the militant group's high-ranking officials. Jared Hill has more from New York.
Israel says it carried out airstrikes against Hamas's leadership in Qatar's capital, Doha, on Tuesday. Qatar has served as a key negotiator in efforts to end the war in Gaza, which began after Hamas led the October 7th terror attack on southern Israel in 2023.
I promised that Israel would reach those who perpetrated this horror. And today, Israel and I have kept that promise.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu explained why he ordered the attack during a speech at the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem.
There was a time when Jews could be murdered with impunity, but since the founding of the State of Israel, those days are over.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the U.S. military notified the administration about the strike just before the attack, and that the president feels badly about the location.
Unilaterally bombing inside Qatar, a sovereign nation and close ally of the United States that is working very hard and bravely taking risks with us to broker peace, does not advance Israel or America's goals. However, eliminating Hamas, who have profited off the misery of those living in Gaza, is a worthy goal.
Leavitt says President Trump directed Special Envoy Steve Witkoff to inform the Qataris of the attack before it happened. The UN Secretary General condemned the airstrikes, saying, quote, all parties must work toward achieving a permanent ceasefire, not destroying it. In Gaza City, the Israel Defense Forces dropped leaflets ordering a full evacuation. In recent days, the IDF has destroyed several high-rise buildings in Gaza City, where it says Hamas has installed surveillance infrastructure. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Here at home, now to a homeless hotspot that's been torn down. We first told you about this Wahiawa property last month when a man was mauled to death by 5 dogs. Lynn Kawano shows us what the owner is doing now and why it may not be enough to keep the parcel.
Saturday, heavy equipment moved in and started demolishing one of the 2 buildings on the property. A pile of cinder blocks with rebar poking out is all that remain of the 2,500 square foot structure that stood at 525 Avocado Street in Wahiawa less than 2 weeks ago. The building had a homeless encampment in and around it.
At the neighborhood board meeting last time, this was a big topic, and they wonder when can things be done.
The city was preparing to move forward with demolition, but days ago, the homeowner agreed to start that process and pay for it.
This is such a win for the community. They've been living with this blighted property for years and years and years, and we're really happy for the community that that first building is down, and then we'll see about what the property owners do with the second.
The city's website lists Angelo's Auto Body and Detailing as the owner that racked up $60,000 in fines and is apparently wanting to put a car shop on site.
I know that they've shared ideas with the administration about possibly rehabbing or using the other building. Ultimately, we're just wanting them to move as quickly as possible to clean up the parcel.
While the owner appears to be working with the city now, it may be too late for the state, which is still moving forward with condemnation.
We really want to try to put something more positive there, add additional state services.
Senator Donovan Dela Cruz says the state wants to acquire the land for a DLNR facility because it's next to Lake Wilson.
The Phase 1 assessment is supposed to be presented to the board in February. That's kind of a long time, so I'm hoping that the land board will accept it sooner. Then DLNR can go to court and ask the judge for their permission to start to condemn.
For now, the smaller structure on site will remain. It is being cleaned and boarded up. I'm Lynn Kawano, Hawaii News Now.
First Alert Weather with Drew Davis.
Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. Of course, we've been watching Hurricane Kiko, well, now Tropical Storm Kiko, very closely over the last couple of days, and it's not going to impact us directly, but we're still seeing a few indirect impacts. We've got a high surf warning out there on east-facing shores that's going to be lasting until 6 p.m. today. A quick look at the actual surf and shoreline forecast out there. You can see east-facing shores around 10 to 15 feet. This is for Tuesday afternoon. Northwest and south-facing shores all on the rise as well. This is going to be peaking today, peaking this afternoon. Outside of surf, we are tracking a couple of other things. Out in the eastern Pacific, the National Hurricane Center has another area with a high chance for development over the next 7 days. However, this chance for development really not going to pan out to be much. It might be a tropical depression and then fall apart in the cooler waters out in the eastern Pacific Ocean. Of course, our winds outside right now, we're actually seeing winds out of the north as Kiko is passing well to the north of the island chain. You can see in our first alert windcast, relatively weaker winds expected over the next couple of days as Kiko cuts us off from the trade wind flow. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be seeing relatively even closer to no wind out there. Some areas seeing very light, very calm winds across the state. Trade winds start to build back ever so slightly as we're going into Thursday and Friday. A little bit breezier on Thursday afternoon. Of course, Kiko well to the north of us, the rain well to the north of us, but today, this afternoon, we could see a few showers out there. That's also possible for Wednesday afternoon with those lighter winds, possible pop-up sea breeze showers, which could be over leeward areas. Of course, this is for Wednesday afternoon. And back to a typical windward and Melku shower pattern as we're going into Thursday and Friday. We do need the rainfall out there. You can see on our drought monitor, we've got level 3 out of 4 drought conditions on Hawaii Island, level 2 out of 4 drought over on Maui and Molokai, and it's abnormally dry across a majority of Oahu, but that level 1 out of 4 drought, moderate drought, is developing both on the gathering place and on the Garden Isle. Just a quick look. Of course, we need the rainfall. A quick look at our first alert radar and satellite. There's Kiko well to the north of us. We're seeing some rainfall starting to move in. Very light rainfall. The showers going to continue to propagate in from the north and northeast over the next couple of hours. Maui County relatively quiet out there. Hawaii Island seeing some cloud cover and a few showers over near the southeastern parts of the Big Island. And Kauai has been relatively dry. A few showers just offshore as well. Our 7-day forecast. Mahalo to Greg for sending this photo in of the Kaiwi coastline. Tuesday and Wednesday, again, we still have highlighted in red. Really not many impacts from Kiko. And of course, Thursday, we're going to see more sunshine, lighter trades, a little bit more cloud cover as we're going into the weekend.
Hey, Drew. Well, today, some of the brightest minds in defense and technology are in downtown Honolulu. They're coming together for Honolulu Tech Week at the Pacific Impact Zone. Casey Lund takes us there.
Aloha, Honolulu Tech Week here at Pacific Impact Zone. We want to mahalo some folks we had on earlier today. Orbital Composite, printing a Delta Wing in the time that we were here, watching that come up. It's just 3D printing like you've really never seen it before, high-level stuff. But I want to bring you over here and introduce you to my friend Makana Anika is with us from GAI. Hey. Hey, good afternoon to you. I want to ask a little bit about your guys' company. Honolulu Tech Week, we featured from those young kids with the robotics that we had on earlier today, Orbital Composites. This really brings a lot of people from all over the country, but you folks, Makana, you guys are right here in Hawaii, correct?
Definitely,
Tell us
yes.
a little bit about GAI.
Yes, so GAI is a federal systems integrator that helps bridge the gap between commercial IT and the Department of War. So we bring in capabilities like Orbital, Kamiwaza, other AI capability in the IT space to the government that is protecting our space in the Pacific.
Yeah, and I mean, what are opportunities like Honolulu Tech Week when you have folks like Orbital? We had Tom Yoakum on from ICU 360 with his wearable tech. Yeah. When you get all these people in a kind of a room like this, you're gonna have the panel discussion. What's the benefit not only for you, but for these other companies that are coming here to Hawaii to share their knowledge?
Yeah, it's really the conversations of the unknown and the art of the possible. So there's other entities like AFCEA, NDIA, who all come into this space and present leading edge capability that either the warfighter or the community in the industry here in Hawaii can build off of and expand into economical prowesses.
Yeah, I would have you brag about yourself a little bit. You folks who are NVIDIA Partner of the Year. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we have a strategic engagement with NVIDIA. We are the key representative for the public sector as a business that brings AI and the products to DoD and industry for NVIDIA.
Yeah. And then just last question here, as somebody from Hawaii, right? Seeing those young people from Wahiawa, the STEM opportunities that they have, and then just having kind of all come full circle together. What's that like for you to see those young local kids?
I mean, this is kind of a dream come true. I was born and raised on the Big Island of Hawaii, or Hawaii Island. And I worked for Lockheed Martin and IBM throughout my career. And this is 20 years in the making of seeing young folks that we can mentor and bring up and keep people living here, employed here, and accelerating in key emerging technology areas globally.
Starting a business here and then keeping that right here in Hawaii, exporting things and products out to the rest of the world. Makana Anika, thank you so much for being with us today. By the way, Pacific Impact Zone right here in the Topa Financial Building. You know, this is kind of a sold out event, but they have a wealth of resources. If you're interested, they can connect you with STEM opportunities, young people with STEM opportunities right here in Hawaii. We have all the details online at hawaiinewsnow.com. We'll send things back into the studio for now.
Now, the Emmy Awards are this Sunday on CBS, and it can take weeks for stars to prepare to walk the red carpet.
Wendy Gillette is in Southern California visiting some of the celebrity hotspots in West Hollywood where they get ready for a big night.
Fancy a little cold plasma? The treatment is part of the red carpet facial at Ulla Henriksen Spa in West Hollywood that celebrities embrace.
Why people really want it is glass skin. Dewy, glowy, plumpy, hydrated, brightened skin.
The facial includes V-Soto and Ulla Henriksen skin products and a human growth factor serum.
It helps to extend the results by about 10 days.
Just down the road in this wellness mecca, Next Health also draws celebrity clientele, offering IV, cryo, and infrared light therapies, along with vitamin shots.
All of these things really help to promote health from the inside, but the effect is that you appear healthier on the outside.
Stars seeking privacy will sometimes opt for a spa like this one at the nearby Sunset Marquis, where red light technology combats aging. The hotel where we stayed for a special rate has villas with private entrances and space to decompress in the heart of the city.
You walk through the breezeway and there's these beautiful 3.5 acres of gardens here.
The hotel is also home to Nightbird Recording Studios. The underground hideaway has 3 different studios where dozens of Grammy Award-winning records have been produced.
Jed Lieber owns the studio that attracts plenty of big names.
Everyone from Aerosmith to ZZ Top, A to Z, has worked here. One of my favorite sessions was Monty Python.
When it comes to Tinseltown's body conscious, they can fuel up on protein-rich sushi at Uchi, then burn it off at Dog Pound, where trainer Kara Lazowskis prepares busy performers for big events.
We stick to a full body approach so that they're able to consistently come in the gym, so the soreness is mitigated, but they continue to train.
She recommends a minimum of 3 strength training sessions a week to get anyone red carpet ready. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, West Hollywood, California.
It's what you call lifestyles of the rich and the famous.
Yes, absolutely. The red light therapy it's strange to me. It's just, is it red light? Like,
yes.
What does it do?
It produces collagen, takes away your wrinkles.
You learn something
Check
new
it out,
every
Drew.
day, guys.
Thanks for watching, everybody.